What is up, guys? Today I'm here to talk to you about gradient maps. I think gradient maps are a super overlooked tool in Photoshop for sports design. Maybe I've just been living under a rock, but I kind of had to discover this on my own. I didn't find this through any tutorials. I didn't really see anyone using it a ton. And I think it's just a super easy way to throw together a graphic if you're on a time crunch, or it can even be a part of a bigger graphic in general. So I just wanted to talk about it real quick because it's really easy, it's really simple, and I think it looks good a lot of the time, and I use it in a lot of my designs. So here are a few examples. I threw these together really quick on my awful laptop. It's from some media day photos, so the background's white. I didn't cut people out. I like the little textures in there. But I just did the gradient map of the school colors for this school, and I think it turned out pretty cool. And I think they just pop. I've used this a lot before as well. I think this is a gradient map right here on this guy. Definitely a gradient map in the, maybe not, but sort of the effect. Gradient map in the background of this, gradient map on this thing. I use it all the time. It's one of my favorite things. So let me go through it with you guys. So I've got 3 different photos here. I haven't done anything to these photos. I just dropped them in. So kind of 3 different applications. Use just like they're running photos because that's kind of my background, and that's what I work with a lot. But I mean, these work with like any photo, any sport. You got to just mess around with it a little bit. If it doesn't look good at first, you got to play around with it. But I think it'll work most of the time. So this is just like a person with a background. This is just a wide landscape shot. Probably could be used as like a background. And this is like a white background, like media day type shoot. So with this one, it might be a good call to cut this person out and then do something different to the background, but just for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to go through really quickly what you can do. So gradient map, it's down here. It's not the same as gradient, all right? It's different. So clicking on the little circle thing, gradient map. So this is kind of the effect I'm going for. So like imagine if you cut her out, she'd be blue, you can leave the background blue, change her to red. I really like to go blue to red on these Team USA things. I think the background looks cool, and then you'd leave her blue. That's kind of an example I would use. And that was a little crazy. Maybe the background could be cool. But I mean, if you check this down to white again, I think that's just like, it's just a cool, easy effect. That's too harsh, but I mean, it's just a cool effect. So it's that easy. And then I would cut her out and do something else, but it's that easy. There's really not much to it. So let me go to the next one. This is on like a background shot, so you can be a little bit more harsh with it. This is Michigan, I believe. So their colors are like a yellow gold thing. So I mean, right there, that looks kind of cool. As a background, it's a little bit too light, in my opinion. But you can switch the blending modes and find something that works for you. I mean, even just like that, it's just like a little bit of extra color on it. I mean, there's just like so many different options here that you can go for. I mean, just like that, you could put a player in front of that. You could put some text over it, and it's just like an easy background. On media day stuff, you got to do a little bit more work to get it to look right. The school colors for this are a little bit specific. It's kind of like that. And obviously you're like, it doesn't look super great right now. But with people, it's always a good call to go with a filter, Camera Raw filter. And we're just going to push up that background. So it's a nice flat white. It's just a little bit, I like to underexpose my photos a little bit. So that's what I did here. So you could talk about Camera Raw as well. Like this is just something that you always have to do with people. I mean, you don't have to do it, but it's like a really good idea to always do this with people. You're just going to push up the highs and bring down the lows. You just want to have a high contrast image. And it doesn't matter if it doesn't look great in here. Like this looks good, I think, right now, but there are some photos where it's a lower quality photo and it just doesn't look great when you're editing it. But when you put all the effects on it and everything comes together, it ends up looking really nice. So I think this looks great right here. So we'll click OK. It's going to think. Wow. That's the exact effect from the examples. and it just pops. And you could even go through the blending modes again and just see if there's any that really stand out to you. And that's a little bit overexposed, but you could bring it down a little bit opacity wise. And just like add a little touch to the photos, and it's just easy. You can just go through all the photos and just easily do this. I think, see, another one I liked was the luminosity. It's just like this little bit, just pushing the blacks up a little bit. I think that looks pretty cool. Just off of photo manipulation, I want to bring down the opacity a little bit. I think that looks nice. And there's just like so many things you can do with this, with this effect. And that's pretty much it right there. It's super simple. And I think it's super overlooked. And hopefully this gives you an edge in your stuff. And I mean, a huge thing about being a professional graphic designer is just like being able to work through stuff fast. I mean, I know it's hard to like visualize if you're not working in the field and you think you want to spend all this time and make these perfect things, but the reality is that at a lot of places, like I work in the college realm, and at the school I was working at, there was really only there's two. I was in the video department primarily, but there was really only like one person per sport, and then for video there was only 3 of us, and one of us was just shooting pretty much for most of the year for the entire department. And I mean, that's like, just think of how much content comes out of a athletic department, and just 2 people are doing all of it. You can't get bogged down in the details. You got to just pump out content, and if this is an easy way to do it, you got to go for it. I think, let's see if I can find it real quick here. This is Behance, by the way. It's a really great website for inspiration. I get a lot of inspiration from here. Let me just see if I save this. Is not mine. Like, just look at how simple. I think, like, just look how simple these are. Definitely a little bit of manipulation on the colors for these people. Kind of like that last luminosity blending mode. I think that would fit really well with these. I mean, these are just simple, and you can just whip them out. You can be consistent. I bet this guy did kind of the same look all across all the brands. He only really posted his posters, so can't really be too certain. But I'm sure their brand is really consistent. Pittsburgh's a big school. So yeah, that's just, we're going on for too long here at the end. I've shown you everything you need to know. If you have any questions, leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe for more videos. If you have something you want to learn, if you find something on Behance and you're like, how do they do this? Drop a link, and or send me a message on like Instagram or something, and or an email, and I'd love to take a look at it and see if I can figure it out for you. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this tutorial, and take care.